Good to go. Yep.
Welcome one and all to tonight's meeting. Declare the meeting open. I'll ask Councillor Wilton to lead us in prayer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all of your blessings.
Good to go.
Yep.
Welcome one and all to tonight's meeting.
There's your word.
There you go. Yes, thanks, Councillor.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for all of your blessings. We ask for your strength and guidance throughout this meeting and thereafter as we look to serve the residents of this shire. We ask for clear thinking and sincere hearts as we approach the business matters we will be discussing shortly. We ask for your blessings upon this meeting with each participant and the work and people they represent. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Wilton. I would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Wiradjuri people, and I pay my respects to the elders both past and present. Any apologies or leave of absence required by anybody? If not, I'll move to the confirmation of the minutes of the last meeting. Moved by Councillor Meyer, seconded by Councillor Linda. Any comments or corrections? If not, I'll put it all in favour. Those against, declare it carried. Move on to the action reports of the minutes. Please note the page and the number if you've got a query. I think most things in the action report have been resolved pretty well to full extent. Possibly a lot of them could disappear now that they've got 100% beside them.
Absolutely, through you, Mr. Mayor. Once they're completed, we do take them off the list.
Any comments from anybody? If not, we'll move on to the agenda items of the day. The first item is the financial report, but we'll leave that in abeyance until we.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to declare a pecuniary interest. That's all right. Do we have time to do that?
My apologies, yes, I forgot to call for that. Any declarations of interest?
Yeah, so it's number one, covenants with the LRCIP funding, and that's just because I'm a committee member of the Burrup Recreation and Ground Management.
Thank you, Councillor Linda. Councillor Forrest.
Mr. Chair, page 24, item 1, engineering tender TL06, not pecuniary interest.
I presume you both filled out the paperwork?
Correct.
Thank you kindly. So we're going to wait for the auditor to contact us. He's currently doing the audit for the commercial club, so he could be a little while getting back to us. But before we look at that resolution, we've got to hear from him first. That's the appropriate way to do it. The second item which we'll deal with is the environment and planning, number one.
I'll move the recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Councillor Wilton.
I'll second that.
Councillor Shield. I've got an apology from the planner. He's away, and so is he's offside. He's not available. So, but it's straightforward. We're just the engineer. We're just preserving a couple of trees. Is that right? No comments. If not, I'll put it all in favour. Those against, clear it carried all the way. First item for governance is the LRCIP program. We've debated for a fair while.
I'll move that motion.
I'll second that.
Been moved by councillor Shields, seconded by councillor Hicks. Any comments? My only comment is that long last we're doing something. No comments, all in favour? Those against, declare it carried. Second item in the governance is some policy development and proceeding policy.
I'll move the recommendation.
Been moved by councillor Hicks, seconded by councillor Wilton. Any comments?
Mr Mayor,
Thank you, councillor Meyer.
we, years ago, 2012, 2013, we had a long debate about the need for locals to be actively considered in all the tenders that are taken, in the sense that if we place monies outside of the Shire from time to time, it makes it even harder to fill all these residential developments that we're undertaking in Henty, Culcan, etc. I'm pleased to note that we do have a local being considered for a rather large tender this afternoon. I think it's imperative that we as a council should be encouraging locals, and we should be encouraging the acceptance of their tenders or their involvement in the Shire wherever possible, given that we want to develop the Shire in all these new houses.
Thanks, councillor Meyer. There is a weighted index whereby locals do get, your employed locals do get a percentage in the assessment. And I don't think we can get any fairer than that. If you want to make a comment, Mr. Engineer?
No, happy to leave that, Mr. Mayor. But yeah, it is included in all tender applications. There is a percentage that is weighted towards locals that is considered on every tender that we do.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Further comments? If not, I'll put the resolution. Those in favour, those against, declare it carried all the way again. Third item in governance is the Murray Regional Tourism Board.
Move the recommendation.
Being moved by councillor Forrest, seconded by councillor Linda. Any comments?
Yes, Mr Mayor, can I make a comment?
Sure can, councillor Meyer.
I'm looking at
Wilton,
the difference in what Greater Hume actually pays for its subscription in comparison with the other councils, and I just quite stark. Actually, I don't know how it all came about, but magic, I think. It's quite, we don't pay much really in comparison to all the others.
I think we had a very frugal attitude about 6 years ago, and they took it on board. I think that's all I can say.
Yeah. Anyway, just noting it, that's all.
Put the resolution, all in favour, those against, declare it carried. The first item on the corporate and community services, the interim quarterly budget review.
I'll second it, but I have a couple of questions.
Moved by councillor Meyer, seconded by councillor Wilk. Yes.
Yes, on page 15, risk management. Can I have a little bit more of an explanation regarding that item? The plus 24,000. How did that come about?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, being a plus, that means it's 24,000 saving. Yeah, and well, basically because of the fact that we didn't have a risk officer in place for quite a while.
Oh, okay, I see.
But that was, that I think as we've made note there that was offset a bit because of increases in insurance costs and so on, but primarily that's where it's come from. It's just staff wage costs. Or savings in wage costs.
Yeah, and the depot admin and maintenance, $5,500, sort of similar sort of thing. But the other way.
Yeah, that's right. That's the insurance. The property insurance was across the board higher than what we budgeted for. So any budget areas where there's significant buildings involved, we probably see an increase in the cost for the insurance.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yes.
May not be appropriate at this time, but I'll quickly glance through this audit report. particularly in reference to fire services. Where do we stand in terms of the conference procedure, which I'm not aware of? There was a resolution of conference regarding fire services and recognising rural fire service plan as part of the council budget.
Councillor Moore, all those resolutions on the RFS assets have been referred to the new board for local government New South Wales. The minister's made several comments about what they're going to do. It's a little bit hard to figure out what they're really going to do, but he set up a committee which is bipartisan, and I think they will resolve it. It might take them till next budget, but I think they've put themselves in a position in life you'd call it a big hole, and there's only one way they're going to get out of it now. That's to fix the rotten thing.
That's right.
And
That's
I think that we'll have to show a bit of patience and not be belligerent towards them, which sometimes I like being, unfortunately. Just watch the process going through and make sure that when this bipartisan committee gives its report that it happens the right way. You've got an audit committee, you've got a finance committee, you've got a treasurer's outfit, and they're all going to be embarrassed about it because it's been a big mistake for many years. They still, what they've done now, they've gone back to 1997, and the minister quoted the conference the other day, and he was deliberately wrong. And the facts are there, and the records are there to show that we didn't demand that everything be handed over to us. And that's what they're hanging out, and their final straw, Councillor Moore, is that they say back in 1997 the farmers wanted to keep the trucks in their own council. They were frightened of the RFS taking away to somewhere else and fighting the fires. And as Councillor Hicks will tell you, that's been going on for many years. But the bottom line is, I don't want to open there, but you've got to store yourself on saying you're telling deliberate fibs, fellas. That's when you listen to them, because you can see the process that whilst it's quite tangled, they are slowly working forward. They're having to solve it. And I would think next budget, state budget will solve it. That's my opinion. I'll transfer the money across to the RFS and say, it's all yours, fellas. You wish to say anything?
I was just going to add that at the moment, Council resolved last year not to recognise the Red Fleet assets in our financials, and that position hasn't changed. It would, if it changed, we would have brought a report back to Council. So the financials that the auditors will be presenting later in this meeting will still be qualified as a result of that decision, and we have still 43 councils that I'm aware of that have taken a similar position. So that remains unchanged. And we're hoping that the state government will take a different approach to how they're requiring it to be accounted for before we do our audit next year.
Further comments or questions?
I was just going to comment on the number of motions that we dealt with at conference. Category, what they call category 1 motions, was 139, which actually went on the screen. Then there was another 107 motions in the category 2 section that we didn't see, and Greater Hume's one in regards to the Red Fleet was number 66 in that bunch. Where in the second category, which we didn't even have a chance to do anything about. And there was a lot of other, well, the rest, 107 of them we didn't see. They were all there on the screen in our papers, but you couldn't have access to putting a for or against case. So, and they just referred to that they're going to
You're going to be actioned by the board.
Right to the minister and all that sort of, that was the only comments. Nothing's changed. Pretty difficult to put a case. I wonder why you go, really.
Well, I was going to say, considering there's 47 other councils in the same, taking the same stance as we have and have continued to do so because we don't control the asset, you would think it would be in the first lot when it's such an important part of our financial statements.
But
That's why it's not.
That's exactly right.
Councillor Parker, but it is the present local government of New South Wales was very forward in making comments that this is a big problem they've got to solve. So it's right up there on the agenda. But as I said, I endeavoured to say that there are 3 parts of the government that are severely embarrassed by this, and they've just got to move through the paces, sort of thing. And the Auditor General sent us what they call a qualified audit, and you can read the letter that the auditor sent us, and you can say, well, so what?
Exactly.
Off the record then, Mr. Mayor, has anybody ever calculated just how much red fleet is in Greater Hume in terms of dollars?
No, that's to my knowledge, Councillor Meyer, because nobody can get a collection of the assets. The RFS won't tell us what's here, what's there. You know, I know what the Rodri's got, but there's 68 fire brigades in Greater Hume, and so there's a lot. But anyway,
Only all the physical sheds and that,
red fleet was all good. Yeah.
We have requested a report, we have requested a list several times. Haven't we, Mr. Smith? We have requested a list several times, all that you have.
Anyway, any further comments on the item, the interim quarterly review?
Only that it's reading well for us, and congratulations to the staff for keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Thank you, Councillor Will. I'll put the resolution. All in favour? Those against? Declare it carried. First item on the engineer's report is the Andy Cookadina Road culvert replacement.
So moved, Mr. Chair. I'll second that motion.
It's been moved by Councillor Wilton, seconded by Councillor Fuel. Any comments? It's quite a significant difference in the tender prices, which I think is very good because it means there's a fair bit of competition.
It's great to see the local fellow getting the job.
Yeah. No further comments. I'll put the resolution. All in favour? Those against? Carried all the way. Thank you. Move on to the second item of the engineer's report.
The recommendation.
Second that.
Been moved by Councillor. Moved by Councillor O'Neill, seconded by Councillor Linda. I think it'll be a very, very handy report to put in front of the state road personnel and the federal personnel. So it's it'll certainly state the case, Madam GM, for what we really want.
Yes.
And, there shouldn't be any reason why we get a real knockback. So I'll put the rest.
Excellent report.
There shouldn't be any reason, but they'll find one. But it is an excellent report, and I think it reads very well, and I've just offered all my congratulations over a number of meetings to Greg and James and various people from Softwood's working group, especially Diane. She was one of the main people who put it together, so she was very impressed with our staff in cooperation. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Wilton. I'll put the resolution. All in favour? Those against? Carried. Move on to the B section. See, our investments are progressing quite well with the new type of interest rates.
Happy to move, Mr. Chairman.
You're moving, Councillor Parker moving the B section. Councillor Meyer second. Any questions? If not, we'll move on to the C section.
I'll move C and D as the vice president.
C and D been moved by Councillor Hicks, seconded by Councillor Linda. Questions? Or comments?
Can I just make some comments? We had a museum committee yesterday, and I'd just like everybody here around the table to know that our visitor numbers are very good coming through the museum and into the information centre. And they, I believe they are and have been for quite some time outstripping the visitor numbers going into Albury. And I think, you know, it's a great credit to the staff who work there and to the displays that they've got there. And it must be ideally located to service that group of people who are looking for some information. Plus, a lot of it's online, so but the numbers are and have been holding up very well. So they're very happy. Since this is sort of going back to about 2018, I think. Is that right?
I think Holbrook's with these charging stations. I think Holbrook's going to be the big beneficiary. The tourists
We won't be able to get across the highway.
are not liking the Albury would want to set up. It's
No.
you know,
It's too hard to find what you need to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also so hard to find a park now. It's sort of any further comments? If not, I'll put the resolution. All those in favour? Those against? Declare it carried. Any chance this auditor's going to come?
Yeah, it's not, no. 6:30, he said, he'd be ready.
We're going to be ready to see the meeting.
Then we have a bit of time. Can I ask a couple of questions on the delivery of annual report? Yeah.
Away you go.
Mr. Mayor. There are just a couple of things I noticed on page 6 of the annual report. The organisations with the councillors listed, but can we add that the marketing promotions committee is no longer or it's been abandoned or non-existent now?
Sorry, that's for last. So this is last year's when the committee was in existence.
Yes, but it's now since ceased. It's report 23. It's the annual report up to 23. So
But we only just recently. So this is till the
Okay.
30th of June, and we only made the decision about that committee in October or September or October. So at the time of that report, it was still, yeah.
And page 21, just thinking of it's about actively promoting and support vocational education in high schools. And we have stronger community grants and we do a great job with that. Is there room for looking into a youth council? That's mentioned something at conference about some youth councils. I know we didn't have them for a while, but I think with the technology now, they don't have to be expecting to travel perhaps to be in one group. They can do online meetings or information to councils. Is that something we can look into?
I'm happy to respond to that. We can. There's an issue in that we don't have a dedicated youth officer position anymore. But that's not to say that Susan Kane couldn't resurrect them. But the reason why we don't have them anymore is not we didn't stop it. We would have been quite happy to keep the youth council going, but there was just a general lack of interest amongst the youth at the schools to participate. That's where it fell down. It wasn't anything we didn't say we're not going to do it anymore. It just basically petered out, and despite Susan's best efforts, she just couldn't get it going again.
It's just wondering if there was a new interest or if there,
Look, perhaps next year with a new cohort in say year 10 and 11, we could try again. Just the cohort, those schools that we had over the last couple of years, the interest just wasn't there for whatever reason.
Okay, thank you. And we don't seem to be able to get confidence with these things.
This one's and this finished, but this
Just thought it was timely. We have on our list page, where is it? 28, I think.
to look into the options for sewers in Giraffe, Markham and Murrumbidgee. And I know that's been around for quite a while, but I think it's timely with the change of environmental products that are out there. Is it worth looking into? Are we looking into, have we investigated some of the newer technology and moving forward that we're thinking about, you know, 10 years down the track, instead of perhaps plodding along, doing what we have been, fixing up a pond or whatever. Yeah, just a thought process into the conference.
Yeah, I'm happy to make some comments. Firstly, we've been without a water and wastewater manager for obviously a substantial period of time. Hopefully that will be rectified in the near future. So that's obviously hasn't helped us do some strategic type activities in regards to the steering of those 3 villages. It is part of our IWCM, which is our integrated water cycle management, which is nearing completion. But unfortunately, to undertake investigations does take time and does take funding, and we will look at it for a budget item for next financial year to do some investigations on new technologies and other options. There's no doubt we need to have a look at it, and I'm happy to consider it in the budget for next financial year. So that's how we'll do it. Hopefully by then we'll have a full-time water and wastewater manager that will have the time to, I guess, get that sort of happening, and then with that information we can then consider. But it's not going to happen overnight. In regards to Burrumbutton at the moment, we've got some very needed works to be done there, and clearly we've got that needing to occur at this stage. So that's what we'll progress with. But we're talking about other things that are into the future, and hopefully next financial year we'll be able to do some further work on it.
Excellent. There's just new tanks and things around these days, so it's just a thought problem. Thank you.
We're still going to wait for this audit man. So,
Mr. Mayor, while we're waiting, I'm just a bit of a random thought, just based on an email that came into probably everyone's emails today, that there's more grants going out for charging stations. And I'm just wondering how many were lined up for Holbrook, and is there potential that we look for more given grant funding that's available at present?
They're independent people doing it. So take a look at 90 at the RH club.
Yep.
And the airport certification of 43. So we will have, what do you say?
13
in total in total.
Yep. So do we know if there's like much money to be made? Like, say, if we as a council to invest in it, and then properly on.
Have no idea.
So
The first one, it's got to do outlets. We just put in by the NRA.
Yeah.
That would be 6 years.
Oh, yeah, more than that.
Yes, and this next one, the Tesla,
Dean and I did
it's 8 or 9.
enough
Yeah.
about it.
It's hard to
Yeah, I think so.
Do that.
And it doesn't be a second corporations.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
you're right. Putting it in the warrants, but with the grants, you might be about 15,000 for 2 boards.
Well, nine of them has cost nearly $1 million.
Yes.
By the time that they I felt the car park, it'll be just the non-insurance.
well, just while we're waiting for
another one.
the auditor to come online, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish David Smith a great retirement. David's been a very loyal servant of Greater Hume for 21 years, thereabouts, or 20 years. 23. No, my calculation's not, it's year 2023. And Greater Hume started in 24.
23 all up.
But you were a very loyal servant of Hume Shire before that, and you're one of the staff who chose to move over to the amalgamated councils, which made us very lucky because quite a few people left the ship and it made it very awkward for staff. So I just hope that your retirement's as good as you wish for, and you get all the happiness that comes to a person who's been a great servant for a long time, because there have been some troubling times and there's been some good times, but you've stuck with it. And when we sorted advice, you've given it freely without any grudge, which is sometimes a bit of a rarity. And I just want to publicly thank you very much for your dedicated service.
Thank you, Tony.
Anybody else like to make a few comments? Councillor?
Yes, I would like to thank David most sincerely for his 23 years. I've known him for longer than that, for 23 years working with him in Greater Hume. It was a rocky ride to start with, but it's been a great ride, and I think we've created a very, very successful shire in a large part due to your hard work and diligence, keeping us all on the straight and narrow. And I think we've become a shire which I believe is almost without peer in New South Wales, and the envy of many. The envy of many. And that's not something I say lightly, but I do know that's correct. You've shown great loyalty and friendship to all of us, and I think keeping us on the straight and narrow has been a pretty good idea. And I know you've loved creating these on-time financial reports at the end of the year and getting your report into the top 10 in New South Wales. Now that's not bad, everybody. So congratulations on that it's a performance measure, really, isn't it? It's been there for a fair while, but very seriously, congratulations and on your retirement. And thank you most sincerely, David. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks very much. It's sorry, you know, in it.
No, that's all right. I just reiterate what's already been said, but thank you so much for the work you did with the childcare services and the library. We'll miss you at the library. Thank you, David.
Yes, the childcare is the gift that keeps on giving. We have an auditor.
I think there's the mayor's got something for you, David, before we go to the auditor.
Thanks, man. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll we'll hand over to Brad.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Oh, hang on. Can you talk, Brad? We can't hear you.
Yes, I can keep.
Maybe that little.
Can you hear me?
Does that need to go on?
No, it shouldn't be. No.
There's a
Oh.
bottom.
Can you hear me now?
Let's keep talking more.
Okay, well, then I'll do it. Right. Hello.
Why is it so?
Hello.
Let's keep talking more.
I've got a speed thing.
Yes, keep talking.
It's on. What am I going to do here? I might have to stop the live, but that's not good. Why is it doing that on?
Will I keep talking? Is that helpful? Hello, hello. Hello. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 5, 7, 4. These are all numbers that I know. This could be a really good presentation.
I'm going to talk for a second, Brad. Then I'm going to mute and you just talk from here on in.
What would you like me to do, David?
You just talk from here on in. I've got to mute our end.
I can't hear you. Your sound has gone.
This could be a really good presentation.
Sure. Yes, I've got that. Do you want me to tackle it on your phone? Do you want to put your phone on loudspeaker? That's probably the best we can do. Okay. All right. Well, good evening. My name's Brad Bowen. Thank you for letting me dial in. I had some COVID challenges this week. Apparently it's back. So thanks for the flexibility. I did hear in the earlier message some appreciation for council being in the top 10 of the state, and I can confirm this year we were the 9th to lodge per the OLG